Hi, my name is Elaine Johnson, and I will be doing a speech on leadership and my leadership philosophy. Okay, so let's start off with what is leadership? Leadership captures the essentials of being able and prepared to inspire others. Effective leadership is based upon ideas, both original and borrowed, that are effectively communicated to others in a way that engages them enough to act as a leader wants them to act. So, here we have this picture, and it talks about a leader is one who inspires and motivates action, and having a can-do personality and a strong leadership skills is the key to leading the charge. And both of these are from Ward 2020. So this is just a brief demonstration of what leadership is in general, and I think everyone can be either they are born a natural leader or they can be taught to rise up and become a leader. Personally, as we will see in this next slide, I think I was born with a lot of leadership skills, but slowly I became more comfortable with them the more I practiced them. So this is my years of leadership. So about in middle schoolish, um, I had some opportunities in leadership, but I did not feel experienced enough to step up to that role. So in those leaderships, occasionally I had a few group projects in middle school, not that often though. I might have had a teacher call on me and have me lead a certain section in the book or talk about something. So that was middle school. In high school, I had even more of those opportunities because leadership and leading a group is a little bit more of a focus in high school versus middle school. So I had more opportunities at that point to become a leader in the setting, and it helped me grow a little bit more comfortable in high school than I was in middle school originally. So then in college, specifically since I was in the degree communications, I had a lot of opportunities to have leadership in my classes, in other situations, in other activities such as dance. I'd help lead classes in dance. In my acting classes, I would help lead a certain acting activity or scene. I would help lead a scene in our classes. So I had a lot more opportunities to learn or to have leadership then. So then nowadays, I have been actually promoted in my job to a leader. So before I was an associate, and I recently, coming up a year now, became a manager. So I do have a leadership position in my job. So this is, out of all my years of doing leadership, this is the highest amount of leadership I've gotten the opportunity to do. I pretty much work at my job 40 hours a week, so I'm pretty much a leader for my career currently. So I feel like I have a good grasp on leadership, and that's why I created this philosophy from observing it myself. Okay, so as I mentioned before, I'm a lower level manager who manages teens and young adults in retail position. I have responsibility of making sure the store runs smoothly with my other managers as well. And I also help train the workers under us. I have to work with all the workers, so I work with all the managers and the associates. And I also try my best to be a good example so that they can follow and be a good example for them to look up to. It has taken a lot of learning to really grow to the full potential I think I can be, but I've become a lot more comfortable with my job now, coming up with a year, and I love my job. Here's a photo we quickly took of me, and these are my two associates. So when we were getting off work, we took this photo right before we left work. So here is my philosophy that I came up with for leadership. So a change in the environment can bring out the strengths and weaknesses of a leader. Okay, what does this mean? When you are a leader where a big change happens, it can bring out the strengths and weaknesses. So that's kind of common sense, but if something in the environment shifts, you kind of see where your stones lie. So you kind of see, is this where I really want to be? Are my strengths in this area? Or sometimes, it brings out the weaknesses in all of us. Okay, so let's talk about some skills in leadership first. Leadership skills can help you in all aspects of your career, from applying for jobs to seeking career advancement. One of the many soft skills that employers value, leadership often incorporates several different personality traits and communication abilities that are useful to anyone to learn and practice over time. So, as we know, these leadership skills, when a big event can happen, you can see that the leadership skills you have set, are they enough to overthrow the weaknesses that come out when a current or a big event shifts in the workplace? So are they enough to bring out those, or to overcome those weaknesses, or bring out those strengths in the workplace? Because you really want to, when something bad happens, you want to be strong in that situation. So, strengths and weaknesses in the workplace. Strengths would be, you want to work hard as a good leader. You want to show some examples of how someone should lead in the workplace. You want to follow the policy and show others that following the rules are important. And then weaknesses would be some of the exact opposite plus more. Like, you would slack off. You come late. You do not show examples of leading. You're not good, or you're not following the policies. And so then the workers under you also decide not to follow the policies, because why should they follow the policies when their leader isn't themselves? Okay, so how COVID brought out the strengths and weaknesses of leaders. So this was the big event that I personally experienced that brought out strengths and weaknesses in the workplace. Crisis comes in different intensities. As a landscape scale event, the coronavirus has created great uncertainty, elevated stress and anxiety, and prompted tunnel vision, in which people focus only on the present rather than toward the future. During such a crisis, when the information is unavailable or inconsistent, and when people feel unsure about what they know or anyone knows, behavioral science points to an increased human desire for transparency, guidance, and making sense out of what has happened. At such times, a leader's words and actions can help keep people safe, help them adjust and cope emotionally, and finally help them put their experience into context and draw meaning from it. But as the crisis leaps from life to death direction on public health and workplace safety to essential matters of business continuing, job loss, and radically different ways of working, an endpoint may not be apparent. While some may already be seeking meaning from the crisis and moving next to normal, others feel rising uncertainty and are worried about the future. They may not yet be ready for hope. That was Anna Mendy, 2020. So I feel like that quote really described how leadership in COVID could be affected, but also, how if the weaknesses come out, it's not only hard for you, but it's hard for the people under you. You really need to stand up and be strong, so that you can help others around you. So in conclusion, a change in environment can bring out the strengths and weaknesses of a leader. Because of this, it is super important to work hard to overcome those weaknesses. Even though it can be hard, it is important to lead others and help them feel better themselves in this case of a big event. Thank you.